I am Luke Reynolds, a member of ACE, and this is Mark Rosenzweig. I hope I pronounced that right.
Rosenzweig. Very close.
Rosenzweig.
You got an 85.
Okay. And we're here to talk about 3dx Scenic and kind of their contributions to the themed entertainment industry, kind of specifically. So can you take us through how the company got started? I believe it was in Cincinnati.
Yeah, sure. So we 3dx Scenic was founded in 1999 as the scenic fabrication arm of a live event production company. And then as things go, 3dx sort of developed its own brand. And then as you go out to expos like IAAPA, you start to you get that brand equity. So people recognize your talent, and so it sort of started going out exterior into the themed entertainment world. And our first big project was in 2008 when we were invited by SeaWorld to start doing some of their stage sets at parks like Busch Gardens Tampa, Busch Gardens Williamsburg, and SeaWorld Orlando as well. And that later led to an opportunity to get into the parade float business, where we fabricated entire sets of Sesame Street parades for SeaWorld Orlando, San Antonio, and San Diego. So there were 10 floats in each of those sets. So we had 30 floats going through our shop at one time. So needless to say, that's a very complex, large project, which then led to further opportunities with Cedar Fair, where we were invited to fabricate several of the Grand Carnival floats for that activation. And that led to the Cedar Point 150th Anniversary Parade, which debuted in 2021, where we fabricated 7 out of the 12 floats in that show. So it's just a really cool thing, because when you do good work and you network and you market, you're only going to grow over time. So with the 3dx brand, I feel like that's what has carried us, essentially.
Okay, awesome. And so with I know like a lot of regional parks seem to be emphasizing more theming recently, kind of upgrading the experience when you're walking through the park. And can you tell me what like the range of services you can offer? Because I feel like that Sesame Place was it was like an old surf theme, and it was completely transformed inside and out. But I feel like some other parks might just want a couple little upgrades here and there. What's like the minimum you can do to spruce up a place, and then take us through like to the maximum level of upgrading you can do to a themed area?
Yeah. So the great thing about scenic fabrication is the range is so broad. So we can start with 2-dimensional signage that is printed direct to substrate, right up to large dimensional signs. I actually have a sample here. This, as most acers will recognize, is the R from Boulder Dash at Lake Compounds, the 2000 Custom Coasters International Terrain Woody that we fabricated a brand new sign for that replaced the original sign for their 175th anniversary in 2021. So that takes it sort of to the next level, where you have dimensionality and it really pops as you walk in. But we also we have a KUKA robotic arm in our shop, so we can sculpt foam into any number of shapes, either a character sculpt like our friend Yogi here, right up to giant rocks and boulders. So we could do portals, we could do signage. Really, we can meet any project's demand, whether from an aesthetic or budget perspective.
So let's step into the world of imagination here. Imagine what would be the coolest sign you can think of for a roller coaster, like for an entrance sign or entrance area. What would that look like?
I think it has to have dimensionality, but for me, it has to add some kind of automation. It has to have motion or sound or something to it. One thing I always recall back, when Kings Island was promoting Son of Beast before it opened, they had that giant crate, and it just sat at what would become the entrance of the attraction. And every so often it would roar and growl and shake. And to me, that gets you amped up for the ride, even though that attraction was not opening until the next year. That's the kind of thing that really, I'm a big fan of immersiveness, and I feel like adding that extra element really pushes it over the top.
And so your company can provide that
Absolutely.
to a park. And then further on, going into the queue line, you could add further bits of theming in to make it more immersive that way?
Sure.
Okay.
And we have design capabilities, but most of the time we're collaborating with the design teams from the parks and attractions, and we're basically, I call our shop team boutique MacGyvers. So they take your design, they take your dream, and they execute.
Okay.
Our specialty is really to figure out a methodology to get to the finish line with a quality product on time and on budget. That's really what we aim to do.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I very much hope you get more more jobs on, well, obviously you're already getting them, but on specifically roller coasters, and I look forward to stepping through.
As long as Yogi's happy, I will have a job. So
Awesome. So yeah, I look forward to stepping through your scenery elements very soon.
thank you, Luke.
So,
And be
thank
sure
you,
to
Mark.
look up who Boo Boo is.
All right,
Don't
will
forget.
do.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.